second time we've been to Olympic National Park in general. First time we came is when we were living in the car, or living in the tent, and just did like all the national parks in California, Oregon, and Washington. And now we are full-time living in the same car we took that trip with. And we're headed back to Rialto Beach.
Hi, my name is Brooklyn,
And I'm Lakyn.
and we live in a Nissan Rogue,
And we are sisters from Arizona.
Wyoming.
Whatever we're from. Before we moved to Arizona, we decided to take a month-long trip and go camping, and we took our tent and a bunch of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and tried to hit all the national parks in California, Oregon, and Washington. That turned out to be a lot funner and a lot easier than we thought it was going to be. So when we got back to Arizona, we decided we were going to make it 3 years there, and then we were going to move into a van or move into a car. And we made it like a year, and we decided that was enough.
I got my bachelor's in kinesiology and was working as a physical therapy technician for 2 years or so. 2 years? Is that right? Yeah,
We went to
maybe.
Arizona for 2 years.
And was just saving up, and that was pretty much my life. It was just work, save, so that we could do this. And then I thought I would go back and get my doctorate after this trip, but that's not happening. This is way better of a lifestyle, and I feel like I can do more and see more and experience more than
Once you realize how really inexpensive it is, especially the way we're doing it with having 2 people and gas that's $60 max to fill up, it's really easy. You don't need a lot, and we disperse camp everywhere. We're not ever in campgrounds. The most we pay for is like groceries half the time.
Yeah, and we eat bean and rice burritos 99% of the time.
And still Taco Bell sauce
So
for seasoning.
it's pretty cheap. It is just a grill bag. Just sits on top of the grill. You put whatever you want in it, but I think it's meant for vegetables. I don't really know. It is in this life. Garlic. Cook it. Put a lot of pasta, a lot of beans and rice. Yeah, carbohydrates are our friends. And just compared to like working in a career where I was just not going to be happy, I mean, yeah, this is the alternative. Yeah. And what did you do prior to living in a 2018 Nissan Rogue?
700 jobs I have, the most ones I stuck with. I graduated with a bachelor's in psych, but I worked in special education, and I truly loved it, but like the burnout and stuff, I just didn't want to do it anymore. And worked for a nanny company, sold my soul for 6 months and made a ridiculous amount. So that made it a lot easier to transition to the car. We thought when we moved to Arizona, because we're originally from Wyoming, that we would be there for, what did we say, like 3 years?
3 years and then take this trip?
Yeah, we didn't make it 3 years. We made it like 6 months there before we were like, yeah, we can make it a year and a half.
And then we got to bounce. And we did.
Left January 1st, January 2nd, because we were still hungover January 1st, January 2nd of 2022. And we've been out 10 months now. And it's a lot cheaper, a lot easier, and a lot more freeing than I ever thought it was going to be. So we'll probably never stop and do some form of this for as long as we can make it.
Since we're both plant-based for the last
2 years.
2 years now, yeah, we like to just find different places to eat that are kind of unique and different and obviously vegan, and
That's our treat yourself when we're not eating bean and rice burritos.
yeah, and sometimes that's easy in states and sometimes it's very hard in states.
Kentucky, I'm looking at you, bro.
And there's also kale, but we've been plant-based on the road, which has actually been pretty easy, I think. You know, we don't have to worry about keeping meat cold or buying it even, like, which is quite an expensive endeavor. Honestly, we should get broccoli though. Yeah, so I think we save quite a bit just eating a little bit more basic.
We're faithful meat eaters for our entire lives until 2 years ago.
Yeah, we grew up on a
Grew
ranch
up
in
in Wyoming hunting. But yeah, we were in the bottom of some canyon in Yosemite on our first month-long tent trip, and it got real gross because we didn't have ice. So from then on, we just kind of made it a bet where we weren't going to eat, and then it just...
And then I just continued from there.
Dude.
Okay.
Never gonna get that back in.
I'll help you. Okay. I've never had it fall off before. I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it.
There is truly no one else I could travel with. Everybody is always like, "Oh my gosh, don't you guys you guys must never fight. You must get along all the time." I'm like, no, not at all. Truly not.
Our first month, we used to do what's called pine cone fights. We were
Just
mad.
pick out a pine cone, do a 15 paces, and then just swing at each other.
Yeah, you're usually laughing before you even.
Oh
throw
yeah,
it,
for
so.
sure.
Usually.
But like you're living this close to a sibling, like. But luckily we kind of do our own thing every once in a while. Brooklyn is an avid, I'm gonna get to the top as fast as I can to a peak, and I kind of wander and look at mushrooms and don't walk as fast, or choose not to go on the hike at all and paint and journal, and we make our own time.
This Project Vanlife video is brought to you by the Orion from Upswitch. Its 11.6-inch, fully integrated high-definition screen, rugged build, and sturdy kickstands make it perfect for gaming on the road. Check out the link in the description to get yours.
Coffee.
We're gonna wake up, we're gonna have coffee, and the rest is unknown. Coffee is the only daily routine.
It's the only
It's the only certain.
Easy when we're out and about to do it. When we're in town, we usually just settle on getting coffee because we live in a car. And we got our little Jackery. We've been using this for almost 11 months now. And then we got a little 100-watt water boiler. And then we just use a AeroPress. Nothing fancy. The first month we went out, we just used
Instant
coffee, and that made us violently ill
Yeah, it's just
after a while.
good for the tummy.
1 tablespoon, 25 calories. That's enough.
That's all.
Just kidding.
This trunk is the bane of my existence, but it's got all of our
awesome.
stuff in there.
Under there, our cooler, our Jackery solar panel. This is where our table goes.
Tons of like our storage containers. It's got
It's
all
really fun to take out every single thing you own to get noodles. I love that.
Every inch is used. Let's just say that. It's a never-ending process of reorganizing. Got books in here. We've got our 5-liter water on each side that we use a little siphon to get out of. Shower stuff, socks, bras, underwear, clothes, hot water bottle because the winters are cold. Towels,
Tupperwares for clothes, and then our shower stuff. I have hoodies and shoes under there. It's a small space, but our bed allowed for each of us to have 5 gallons of water that we use our little water siphon for to get out. Kind of like siphoning gas. Yeah, it's no frills, but it has everything we need. What's this guy? This guy right here. Is that you're asking? This guy is the only reason I was able to camp in the winter. It is a Triceratops hot water bottle that we cuddle with at night. You stick it in your sleeping bag before you go to bed, and it is nice and toasty when you lay down. It has 2 very small inability to heat women. It keeps us alive. That's the tool. Where our backpacks is, our shower, our backpacking tent, our slack line, our grill we use every day, our actual tent. Got it for real cheap on Facebook Upcycle, and it often never shuts. But there's no way that 2 people and all of our stuff could function without that in any way. But yeah, we started putting stickers on there, and then they started flying off, so we stopped putting stickers on them, and now it just kind of sits. Prevents you from parking in all parking garages. But again, we have to have it. We have too much stuff. All of our windows.
Show me where the ending goes.
There's a lot that's difficult. It's hard to like travel as women, and like a lot of people panicked us and said take guns and be afraid, don't park in any parking lots, don't tell anybody you're living in your vehicle. But like, we've met only good people, I think, traveling. I haven't had any moments where I was like truly terrified, except for last week when the car just started unlocking randomly. That's not anything that we were really worried about. We've met some really spectacular humans. It's super easy to introduce yourself to other people that are living in a vehicle. Like, that community is something different. Everybody is super kind, takes care of each other. We've met the one woman that I really think about all the time is that girl that was living in the van that met us, Jane or whatever her name was. She's older. She's probably like 60. Jenny. Yeah. And was just telling, she's like, never stop traveling, continue to do it forever. And like everybody that we tell that we're in, like living in the car now, oh, I wish I did that. I wish I could have the time. It feels really good to be outside and vilified through that, even though it is really tough to find water and a safe place to camp sometimes. And sometimes you go insane outside, especially living with your sister in a car. It's good. Like a winner.